Ahmednagar was established by Nizam Shah I in the late 15th century. It has a very rich architectural heritage and boasts several buildings that deserve architectural study. The city Ahmednagar takes its name from Nizam Shah I after he won a battle against Bahmani forces at the site. During the Nizam Shahi dynasty, which lasted through the 16th century, the town saw a lot of architectural activity. Farah Bucks Bog, Diya Masjid, Salabat Khan's tomb, Bharosa and Ahmednagar Fort were some of the more significant buildings constructed during this period. Currently, there are very few initiatives to conserve the architectural heritage. But unfortunately, though we have lost many of the structures, the remaining structures could still be saved or repurposed for other uses. The Farah Bucks Bog. Located in the middle of a vast garden complex, the Farah Bucks Bog was constructed with stone masonry that was arranged around a timber framework. The large octagonal palace was set on a high platform in the middle of an artificial lake. This lake itself was the center of large orchard gardens. Water for this complex was brought from as many as 15 miles away through an ingenious system of aqueducts. This garden was the site of several court intrigues, of poetry recitals, and of entertaining diplomatic missions. The beautiful Diya Masjid is an architectural gem, carved intricately out of the black basalt that you find in the region. The Diya Masjid has a heavily articulated skyline with a distinctive Nizam Shahi flying arch in the center. Though small in size, the decoration is of a very high order. In fact, if one looks at the paving on the floor, the pattern of the flagstones mirrors that of the dress stones in the flat ceiling. The Diya Masjid is close to a graveyard and can be accessed easily from the Ahmednagar Fort. Another important building is the tomb of Salabat Khan, the celebrated minister of the Nizam Shahs. Built sometime in the last third of the 16th century, the building is an octagonal three-storied building atop a hill. It offers beautiful vistas of the complete region. The arched openings on each story also allow seating so that one can enjoy the breeze and light through the day as it keeps changing. The hill has 3 dams which provide water for this building. Salabat Khan's tomb is erroneously known as Chand Bibi Mahal. It was used in the 19th century as a place where British officers could convalesce. Bharosa, constructed sometime around 1509, it is a very significant building because it is the tomb of Nizam Shah. It is the only tomb of the Nizam Shahi rulers that exists in Ahmednagar. The rest of the rulers were Shia and had their bodies embalmed and transported to Karbala in present-day Iraq. The domed roof of this building is partly built in brick and decorated with incised stucco plaster. There are earlier traces of Bahmani architecture such as the jambs of the main entrance, which show certain kinds of motifs. The ceiling, the domed ceiling, is partially painted, and though the paint doesn't survive in its entirety, enough survives to reconstruct what it might have been like. The incised stucco also provides the basis for a large inscription at the base of the drum. Set in a large square enclosure, the complex also contains a stepwell and another tomb with a pyramidal roof. The fort of Ahmednagar, built in its current form sometime around 1556 in the reign of Hussain Nizam Shah, is an oval-shaped fort with a circumference of 1.8 kilometers. The walls of the fort are very tall, almost 18 meters high, and contain 22 bastions. The fort is encircled by a moat on all sides, and unlike a number of other forts, has only a single entrance. There is a small postern gate from which a bridge was built by the British when they occupied the fort. This fort is comparable in its form only to the fort of Belgaum, and it is suspected that many of the design features of this fort were inspired by Portuguese engineers who were hired in its reconstruction. The fort also has beyond the moat a glacis that is quite unique. The city of Ahmednagar has a very rich architectural history. Within the city and its surroundings are a number of important monuments that serve not only as reminders of our own past, but also serve as data for understanding the past. The use of architecture as an important source of data is vitally important in writing any kind of history. Textual sources are not adequate, material sources are ever more important.